Martin Horspool, and I make funny little robots out of scrap metal and stuff that I pick up from all over the place. I think I've always had an obsession with stuff from the 1950s and the 1960s. What gets me quite excited is old-fashioned stuff. I've always collected things out of skips and car boot sales, old lamps and things a little bit clunky and industrial and retro-looking. To be able to identify with things from another era in my work. When I was younger, I used to really enjoy messing around with motorbikes and customizing push bikes. And from that sort of background, I was always meddling around with nuts and bolts. We came over from Wales 11 years ago, and I thought it was quite nice that the New Zealanders always keep scrap cars on the front lawn, you know? It must be kind of a tradition.
We used to drive around, go on holidays, and it would be so frustrating. He'd just stop the car and say, "I'll be back in a minute," and jump out, and I'd be sat there for about 20 minutes while he was sort of rummaging around fields, taking photos of beaten up caravans and old cars. He'd just take his time while I sort of waited around and then hoot the horn a few times, and he'd finally come out.
And she says, "Oh, what's that over there?" When she knows there's a car over there, you know? I said, "Oh, there's a car in the field." And you can see her eyes rolling. Oh, God, here he goes again. To think that each individual part has been like designed by somebody in an older time, where the wind tunnel is not really important. It's got to be big, it's got to be chromed, it's got to have a fin on it, it's got to look like a bit like a spaceship. Yeah, it's a bit of an obsession. My love of rusty old 1950s and 60s things has kind of developed from photography to getting back to nuts and bolts. Now I'm producing all these robots, and I really love the robots. They seem to come alive with their own characters.
Impossible, robots are programmed without persona. I can hear.
They're all kind of kooky and a bit quirky, and people seem to love them, you know?
My circuits wish to reciprocate the love of the humanoids.
This fella here, he's made out of an old pencil sharpener that I picked up in a market, and a box brownie camera. That top piece is made out of bathroom scales. That rocket pack is made out of an old fan heater or something.
How systems go.
Certainly old metal really interests me. The print and the rust of it and the shape is solid, and it's got an age, and it's not made in China. You know, it's not plasticky, horrible sort of Japanese car. This one's really neat. It's made up of all sort of electrical components, and it's got this skirt that's made out of oil can from a Singer sewing machine. That tin I picked up probably about a month ago in Takapuna Market, and I was really excited. The next day I thought, oh, must make something out of that. So I got all my bits and pieces together, and I find it's really nice to try and find things that are the right size and proportion to go with what you've got. I tend to go around like junk shops, op shops, garage sales, car boot sales. Scrap yards are really good. Even things on the side of the road, there's skips, so I'll be like, might have that, thank you very much. There's one particular shop that I go to. The place has obviously been there for donkey's years. It must have been there from 1950s, so I have a little sift through there every now and again. There's all these old valves or bits of old toaster. By the end of it, I'm walking out with like a flipping banana box full of all these things. Certainly over the last 12 months, I've spent a flipping fortune on buying bits and pieces. The house was getting far too cluttered. I was bringing home way too much, so I decided to convert the attic into sort of the man's grotto, the man cave. Since opening that up, I've been able to collect like heaps more stuff when it comes in under the radar, when it doesn't know anything about what goes on. It looks a bit ramshackle, but I've got a system. In this area, I keep all the stuff that could potentially be bodies. Heads. Over here, we've got like loads and loads of old gauges. Things that can be arms, more arms. I've got a whole bunch of things that I can use for legs, window things, all vacuum flasks, cocktail shakers, paint scrapers, little eyes. What I usually do is bring out bits and pieces, stick them on the table, do a small construction without any nuts and bolts. I usually get a bit excited if I've recently found something, but they've all got to be the right proportion. So, I usually work around a head and a body. You can see that when you get a different combination of things, you get more of a funky or a sinister or a goofy type of robot. Don't have a workshop or a shed as such, so just got to wait for a sunny day and then take everything out onto the deck, onto the bench. Tools come out, drills come out, grinder comes out, and way to go.
I spend ages outside here, I tell you. It's great. Some people like to go fishing. Some people like to play golf. I like to do this.
It's not just a matter of like ding, 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 bolt, 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 and all done. It's a three-dimensional puzzle that you're sort of building for yourself. I quite enjoy working on my own. I'm quite happy to spend the whole day just in my own little zone.
I truly believe that it's good to recycle, you know. It's a bit sort of cliched these days, but I see myself as preserving a little bit of industrial history and heritage by, using these old beautiful bits and pieces that probably would be in the smelter by now and reusing them and making something else out of it, something that people are going to appreciate and recognise and enjoy as well. Well, it looks like it's a finished article. I decided to probably call it Ever Ready, after the two torches that it's made out of. I've got to be building something or making something or seeing an end product. So doing this is really satisfying for me, you know? This is my relaxation.
If I don't make anything, I feel a bit empty, as if there's like part of me that has been sort of bypassed temporarily. But I know I'll be making something else very soon, you know? Keeps me out of mischief.
Where have I been situated? Welcome to Robotopia. Let's fry some battery acid.
Robot. Rabbit.